Hello, viewers. We are back with the concluding episode of Beyond the Shatters with Mr. Kayode Soyinka.
Thank you.
The enigma. I always want to use that word. So, Uncle Kayode,
Yes.
concluding episode of this wonderful interview. I must thank you again and again and again for sharing your life and story with us.
Thank you.
But of course, you know, one eye is not enough to get all of your story. So that's why this book, you know, when I got my copy, I couldn't drop it. This book, Born into Journalism, Memoir of a Newspaper Reporter, is a must read for not only people who are interested in journalism, but anybody who is interested in progress in life. It just has too many lessons.
Yes.
So, Uncle Kayode, yes, your story. So we were now at the point where you joined Concord from Sketch. Yes, and also the relationship that you forged with the late Dele Giwa,
Yes.
of whom that fateful incident in 1986 brought you into the homes of almost every Nigerian, you know? So, okay.
Yes. I will give, credit for whatever I did at the Concord.
Yes.
As the pioneer London correspondent and the one that was given the responsibility to establish their London bureau.
Yes.
We would call it London branch office in those days. The other Nigerian newspaper that had a well-established, bureau in London was the Daily Times.
Okay.
Okay, and they are not far away.
And the Daily Times was a newspaper of then. Concord really came to give a run to Daily Times.
That was what Chief Abiola wanted.
Yes.
That was why he wanted to, if not on Fleet Street, be close to Fleet Street. So, and then, we got an office on High Holborn, which is just adjacent to
Fleet Street.
Fleet
Yes.
Street. We, did it well. In fact, our bureau, by the time it was finished, was better than the bureaus of world-renowned newspapers, who are also in London. I invited top Fleet Street editors to the opening. It was a grand,
I can imagine.
opening. And the chief was so impressed himself, so much so that he told the delegation from Lagos, and I must give credit to Prince Henry Odukumaya, who was the managing director. Of the Concord. The Concord at the time I was appointed.
Yes.
He appointed me. And told me the vision for the Concord, and the fact that they had intended to have a bureau in London. And he supported me from day one to make that.
Because you took the vision and you ran with it.
Well, yes.
And you delivered on the vision.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, he had left Concord by the time the opening took place.
Oh, what a shame.
Really a shame, because I personally would have loved him to be there on that day.
I know.
So that's why I'm saying that when you're doing all this, it's also good to have the opportunity of having good people.
That's right.
To support you.
That's
to
right. Relationships.
Relationship.
We never can say enough.
Yes. And then doing Abu Abba then. Before she became Mrs.
Abiola.
Again, a very staunch, supporter and mentor for me.
Yes.
At that time, always encouraging. You can't be in the, and then Duro Onobule.
Yes.
I think he was features editor. At that time, also somebody that I respect. A great deal. And then of course Dele Giwa that you are talking about. You cannot be amongst these top professionals and having the opportunity. Been trained, by them, and not be a good newspaper reporter. That's where I came from.
Okay.
And that was expressed better, in my relationship with Dele Giwa, because by the time the London bureau started operating, all right, I was following the mandate given to me by Prince Odukumaya to report for all the newspapers within the Concord group. So I had to write for the Sunday Concord as well.
Okay.
Even though my immediate boss, was Dr. Doi Abiola.
Okay.
So I started filing for Dele Giwa as editor of Sunday Concord.
Okay.
I had met him after my interview and after being given the job. When I entered his office, he asked me how old I was. As I said, I was 22. He said, do you think you can do the job? I said, what has age got to do with it?
With it.
And I think that blew his mind.
Because you were so confident and so sure of yourself.
He said, you are qualified for the job.
Wow. Because everyone will be blown by somebody who is confident. Yes.
No, you are qualified. You take the job and run with it.
Yes.
So when he got my first set of stories, he did something that was unusual of a Nigerian editor. And that showed precisely the kind of climb that he was coming from New York, working for the New York Times.
Yes.
Editors at that level, they don't play with their reporters.
Okay.
When you are employed by New York Times or the Times of London or the Telegraph, they give you the first two things they equip you with as a reporter is a laptop and the company's credit card.
Wow.
You see, laptop, you can be anywhere, even in the high seas.
Yes.
You'll be able to file your stories. That laptop is not ordinary laptop. It is equipped with all the communications gadgets in those days. And then with the company's credit card, if anything is happening anywhere, you can quickly jump into the plane, hire a vehicle, and then you are going. You are not inhibited by the fact that you don't have funds or you are just applying, And then the editor follows your movement.
Yes.
Hourly, let us put it that way. How is the story going? How is it developing? And you are reporting back, giving feedback, and it's giving you some ideas of what we need to add. So you're always seated, on your desk.
Yes.
Building your stories and writing your stories, getting back to the headquarters until the whole thing is, completed.
Okay.
Dele Giwa was coming with that kind of tradition. He received my stories.
Yes.
And he picked the call, made a call to me from Lagos.
Wow.
In London.
Yes.
Which was a big deal in those days. Because
I remember we had to go and be queuing at Nitel before we could make international calls. Exactly. Wow, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yes.
So what I had done as London correspondent for Concord was I had equipped the office with a telex machine. Okay. Which was right in front of me.
Yes.
So I can file my stories at any time, to Concord. Then he said to me when he got through, Kayode, thank you very much for those stories that you have sent. I like them so much, and I like your style of writing. Okay. But I just want to make some suggestions to help you improve, your reporting style and your writing style. He made those points, said I should guide, against this and that.
So you were still open to learning?
Absolutely.
It is some other people. They would say, I'm a reporter in my own right. I'm already, in charge of the London office.
I was learning, all across, my career because I was lucky to have senior, very good, well-tested senior people as my bosses. And I was reporting to them directly. Yes. I think that was one good thing that helped me to succeed in my career. Wow. Dele gave me instructions and he said that if I was able to do all those things, he will give me a column to write in the Sunday Concord. Wow. And he did. Wow. And named it himself, London File. Wow. That was how I was
your relationship with him went deeper.
Right. That's deeper, yes. Yes. And when he would want to go back to the US on holidays to see his family, one day told him that, why don't you like to pass through London? He said he didn't like London.
The American never liked the British. Slow style.
I don't even think he had ever visited London. Yes. So I invited him to London.
Yes.
By the time I showed him the good places in London, the Selfridges, the Harrods, the Russells and Bromley, I so much liked the, English, British style, quality of things. He will get his Kenyan coffee at the Selfridges, buy his, nightgowns at, Selfridges. He was staying, with me and my family. If he's not going to stay with me, there is an hotel just at the middle of Newborn Street that he will, he was a quality man, and he wouldn't compromise in terms of, standards. So that was how our relationship became not just the relation of a boss, to the junior editor to reporter. It was like brother to brother. You will think that we are blood relations.
Yes.
By the time he got married to Fumilayo, they had Aisha, the daughter.
Yes.
They will visit London and they will stay with us. Aisha or Ayodele, grew up with my own children.
Yes.
As well.
So you had nurtured that.
That was the relationship we had not which we had nurtured. Yes. So when I was visiting Nigeria, it was also natural that I will be staying
with him. Wow. So that is how come
that happened.
That fateful morning, you were the one at breakfast with him.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's the background, to that.
Uncle, we all heard the story, but you were there. And people have been wondering what exactly is this true story around that fateful day of October 1986, to which, unfortunately, Mr. Dele Giwa, a very respected reporter, known everywhere, lost his life. A family man, and the account was that both of you were at breakfast and the doorbell went. Uncle, so you tell us what happened. You were the one there. I don't want to rely on what I read. I was young then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, look, it is a story that I don't like to go back to.
I can imagine.
I still feel the emotion of 35 years ago.
I can imagine.
Yes. I always don't like to talk about it, really, if I can avoid it.
Yes.
But look, you are my sister.
Thank you, Uncle.
And I know that Nigerians
so
are watching this program.
They are.
They would like to know.
So,
some of them were not born.
That definitely.
At that time.
Yes.
And they're 35 years old now.
I can imagine.
But they've been hearing Dele Giwa.
Yes, they've been hearing the story, the letter bomb.
The letter bomb. The letter bomb incident was bigger than what happened on that day. You have to look at the bigger picture of what that does to Nigeria as a country. We had never had that kind of thing before.
That's what I was going to say.
And when it happened,
never had that.
I think one of the things that I said was that if we don't get the killers, those who did it, and let justice reign on this, it will happen again.
Wow.
And look at what has happened again since then. We had mysterious killings, of prominent people,
assassinations,
Rewani and many other people like that, unresolved.
Yes, silenced voices that they believe are.
Absolutely. We were having breakfast. Before the breakfast, I arrived on a Friday. You see, it was the same day, I think, that my famous brother and namesake, Professor Wole Soyinka, came in after winning the
Nobel prize
for literature. And it was on that day also that Dele Giwa had visited with Reepu, had visited the security, for questioning. You remember that there were allegations made against him. spurious allegations, gun running and things like that. I think they were setting up the stage for what was coming.
What was coming?
On the Saturday, that was why Dele didn't come to the airport to pick me. Usually he and Ray would have been at the airport to pick me, but they sent a driver to pick me. And as we were getting into the house, they just arrived from the security people. And we went straight into the study. That same study where we were on the Sunday when the bomb came. And then he was narrating his experience on that day, with the security. There were other people there with us. I think N.O.W was with us.
Okay.
And poignantly, let me point this out, because he was so agitated as a result of his experience with the interrogators earlier in the day, after which they left to see Chief Ganefawayemi to complain about what had just happened.
Yes.
And he looked into N.O.W's eyes and told him that, I hope Dr. Ogmubi will remember this, that look, if anything should happen to me, I know you will take care of my children.
Wow.
It was as though he had a premonition. Something was going to happen.
Wow.
On the Saturday, I came out of bed before him. So I was downstairs. And then he and Ray had to go for a function. I think the Vice President Aikomo had a reception for journalists. They went. So it was, I was resting.
Yes.
I needed it because I just came. And don't let me forget that the Fudu sisters,
yes,
I think one was Theodora Fudu.
Yes.
And I'm trying to remember the second name. One of them hosted Professor Soyinka that night on Friday. When we were in the study, we were talking. The late call came that we should come for that reception.
For the reception.
And we went late at night, driving in the Mercedes-Benz car of Dele Giwa. We went at night, and we came back home, early in the morning on Saturday, very early, around 5:30. So if they wanted to kill him, or kill any one of us, I mean, that period of night would have been the time to do the.
And nobody would have done what
not
happened.
to send a parcel bomb to where they sent it. A series of things happened, before that. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yes.
Before that Sunday happened.
Yes.
Then on the Saturday was when they went for this ICOMO meeting.
Yes.
So I was alone in the house with Fumilayo. It was while I was with Fumilayo that the telephone calls from Akilu, was coming in. I was a witness to that. I sat with Fumilayo as she was speaking with Brigadier Akilu, who was asking, clearly, deliberately, pointedly about how to get to Dele Giwa's house, the arrest, the address, description of the place. It called consecutively for about 4 times. As he was dropping, he was calling for get more details. At one point, Fumilayo had to ask him, "Sir, I hope there is no problem." No. He said there was no problem. That I think he said he was traveling out of Lagos, for the weekend, and he was thinking of maybe dropping by to say, hello. So I was a witness to that. I saw that. Now, Dele and Ray, they didn't come back until very late that Saturday. And I had gone to bed. I don't even think I saw Dele by the time he arrived. So I saw him on the Sunday morning, where I was already seated in the living room, when he came down. So when he came down, he was complaining about one story in the news watch that was coming out that week, that he did not think that was it was there in that edition. And I said, no, I just read it actually. And, he said, okay, let's go into the study.
Yes.
And then he brought out the file for that edition of Newswatch, and I showed him the story. Now, they were now, Funmilayo was preparing breakfast for us as we sat in the study. So she brought the breakfast. What she brought was, pap and moi moi or something like that.
Yes.
Akara.
Yes, we understood that it was pap and akara.
Something like that, yes.
You were having.
But I'd left Nigeria a long time ago. Yes. I wasn't used to pap again.
Yes.
So I asked if, she could.
They could make English breakfast.
No, not even English. No. I still want to go local.
Okay.
So I'm married to them in Ijebu.
Okay.
So I asked for the Ijebu gari.
Okay. Wow.
So give me the Ijebu gari instead. So which she went out to bring. And then all of a sudden, Billy, Dele's son, came into the room and handed over a parcel to his father.
Wow.
Okay, that is the facts that we can tell.
Because you were there.
Because we were right there.
Yes.
What happened outside, we didn't know.
Yes.
Because we shouldn't talk about that.
Yes.
So because that will be ARC.
Yes.
But what we had,
what you saw.
It's only what I saw, because I was the survivor and the one who witnessed it.
Yes.
So I can only say, what I saw, in that study. There had been so many, they tried to mess this story up. They even accused me of the one who brought the, parcel. Can you imagine how terrible, sadistic people can be? Those who are supposed to investigate.
Yes.
Rather than investigating thoroughly, they are looking for evidence to put on my neck.
And exonerate themselves.
Yes. Instead of protecting me, who was a victim, I mean, they're trying to tell the story, differently. So we had that some people had delivered that parcel at the gate, and then the security guy at the gate took that parcel from them. He was bringing it inside the house to his boss when he met Billy on the pavement and, gave it to Billy, who brought it
daddy.
To his father. When Billy handed over the parcel to his father, of course, he went out, out of the study, into the living room, or maybe on his way, out completely. And then his father looked at it. He looked at the parcel and handed it over to me.
Wow.
We were face to face.
You had the parcel too?
I had it.
Wow.
I had it in my hand. He handed it over to me.
Wow.
To have a look. We were face to face like this. It was an L-shaped mahogany desk. Yes. That was the divide between us. So the distance was not much. So I had a look at it, and that's the reason why I was able to describe vividly what inscriptions the parcel looked like and the inscriptions on it. So I handed it over to him. Usually because of the closeness between us, he could open my letters, I could open his letters. I could have opened it.
Wow.
On this occasion, I returned it to him. He was sitting on a chair that you could, move around.
Okay, those swivel chairs.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he shifted the chair. In fact, this setting is good, to describe what happened. Okay, and was facing this side.
Yes.
And the window was on this side, and he tried to open it. The parcel was directly on his thighs. He didn't place it on his thighs. It was above, his thighs, and he was trying to open it from the left-hand corner of the envelope. It was only an attempt. He had not even opened the thing properly. It was just a slight, tear, and then, the explosion.
Wow.
The explosion. Wow. Very powerful. I cannot describe it with words.
Wow.
Explosion.
Wow.
Occurred.
Wow.
With a big ball of fire.
Fire.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, everywhere was just pandemonium.
I can imagine.
It was, I mean, he was wrecked, on the floor down there. I was shifted from my seat, right? The door to the study was behind me like this. Yes. By the time I landed by the door. This is very important for me to clarify. Seriously? Because Omobien, who was supposed to, the police officer, supposed to investigate this matter, said that I ran into the toilet.
How could that have happened?
I just couldn't believe how somebody who is now a bishop somewhere, can come up with that kind of cock-up story.
Wow.
I mean, so I landed here on the floor.
From the impact?
From the impact, or whatever. The chair on which I sat completely collapsed. The whole study was upside down, and I removed when I gained consciousness, my glasses, out of my face, and then staggered out of the study. And I was just going out like a man possessed. I went out of the building, run through the car park into the street. People in the neighborhood, they had heard the explosion. It was that powerful. People in the neighborhood, they heard. And they came out of their houses and coming towards the direction of the explosion.
Yes.
So I was there right in front of Dele's, house and looking at people running towards me. And I was waving like this just for them to come.
For them to come.
To come.
And all this time, Mr. Giwa was on the floor.
Oh, yes.
Don't forget to like this video. And if you haven't, subscribe to the Now Show channel today and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any video that is uploaded. Thank you for watching.